Channel 3 Jamie Tucker tells the story in Haunted Tennessee.
We know she's still here because people have seen her, people have felt her.
She dances on stage, sings down the aisles, and watches all of the shows that play at the historic Orpheum Theater in downtown Memphis. A little girl in white who has spooked visitors, workers, and actors for nearly 75 years.
The story goes there was a little girl on her way to the theater around the turn of the century when she was either hit by a trolley or kicked by a horse. She didn't seem that badly injured, so they brought her inside, put her in her seat, and she watched the performance. But after the show ended, they found the little girl in that seat, dead. Today, about a century later, Mary still roams the Orpheum Theater, singing, dancing, playing, pretending to be alive.
She doesn't hurt anybody. She just plays tricks.
Barbara Jackson, who works as a volunteer usher at the Orpheum, has never seen Mary, but others have, including a director who saw Mary during a rehearsal.
And he asked them whose little girl there was sitting down in one of the boxes. And they said, we don't have any, none of our children are here. And he said, well, she's sitting in there and we don't want her there. And they told him, well, how is she dressed? And he said, well, she's got long curly hair and got on a white dress. And they said, oh, that's just Mary. Said, she's our house guest. She's our ghost.
Mary has been sitting in seat C5, and in one of the box seats, they've seen her playing and dancing. And sometimes, they say, you can even hear her sing.
There's one thing about her, you never see her when you really expect to. And if you try to make her come out, she really won't.
Vincent Astor, who's worked at the Orpheum most of his life, hasn't seen Mary. But one of his friends did, while Vincent was playing Mary's favorite song.
He's told me later there was this little girl up there. She peeked around the post and looked at him like, well, who in the hell are you? Well, then he would peek back around at her like, well, who in the hell are you? And they played hide and go seek around that post for a good while. And then she went away, and he told me about it later.
Every now and then, Mary decides to step into our world to catch another show at the Orpheum. And although it's rare for anyone to see Mary, a young boy visiting the Orpheum just a few years ago felt her presence. So he took out his camera and he took a snapshot. They tell me the only picture on the roll that developed was this one, that clearly shows something on stage in the shape and form of a little girl in white. There's a chance, they say, you can see her too, but be careful. If your ticket is for seat C5, you might have to share your program with a little girl named Mary. For Tennessee Haunted, Jamie Tucker, News Channel 3.